It's the most wonderful time of the year. That's right. Baseball season is here. Pitchers and catchers reported for spring training in Major League Baseball. This week, college baseball gets underway, and it is also the final season for WVU skipper Randy Mazey. And I know, look, we're primarily a football show here. I get that. We do some basketball. We sprinkle in some women's basketball, but we're also going to do baseball. We did baseball last year, and for most of you that don't know, I'm mainly a baseball background guy. That's where my strength is. That's my background. Played in college a little bit, and that's kind of my first love is baseball. So I figured, look, with the season starting tomorrow down there in Florida, in DeLand, Florida, against Stetson, we have to give a little bit of love here to the man that not only resurrected this program, but has really put it in a position to be successful for many, many years to come. And that is, again, Randy Mazey, and they're entering his final year as the WVU head coach. And I don't think people understand just how good of a job that Randy has done with this team. And it's almost like folks have kind of become blind to it, because when you start to win, and it's a gradual thing, right? It's not like he came in, they won 35 games right out of the gate, and all of a sudden there's this high expectation. But when you gradually improve year after year after year, and you're starting to see progress into making NCAA tournaments and feeling like you have more of a chance to advance to get to a super. They haven't got to one yet, but just having that feeling, and having guys like John Means and Ryan McBroom, Alec Manoa, Michael Grove, JJ Weatherholt, like having those types of talents that really kind of highlight your program is just speaks volumes to what he's done here. Those types of guys weren't coming here. Okay, let's be honest. Those types of talents were not coming here, nor were they being developed here in the previous regime, and really in any regime under West Virginia baseball. But Randy has turned this thing into an absolute, I don't want to say powerhouse, but it is one of the most respected programs, I think, in college baseball because of the success they had. They outpunched their weight, and for a somewhat northern team, they're pretty damn good consistently. That's usually not the case. There's usually only a handful of these teams that are, you would say, probably north of, I don't know, maybe Virginia, that are usually worth a damn. West Virginia is one of those teams. And again, I think people kind of have grown blind to it because of the gradual progress. They just think, he's going to win 30, 35 games this year. They're going to finish in the top half of the Big 12. They're going to make the NCAA tournament or get close to it. And for, the baseball program, it's pretty decent, right? It's not football. It's not basketball. It's not the main revenue driver by any means, but it's pretty good when nothing else is going on. But that's not it. You have to go back to when Randy took this job. And credit Oliver Luck, because you have to get the perfect candidate to be able to do what Randy did when he first got here and what he's done since. That is an absolute grand slam hire. A+ guy, A+ coach, A+ team builder. I mean, it's 100% all the way around a grand slam hire. He comes in, they break ground on the new stadium. They build all these facilities that help them compete in recruiting and compete during the season. And it's translated to a whole bunch of success. For those of you that are kind of late in the game or don't really know much about the baseball program, Google for me Holly Field. WVU baseball, Holly Field. Just take a gander at that. That's what they played in before Randy Mazey got here. Before they made the transition to Mon County Ballpark, that's where they played their home games. And I don't think that it was probably anywhere but dead last in terms of uh, field and field condition and atmosphere, environment, just the niceness, the aesthetic of it, probably anywhere but last in the Big 12. And I'll be honest with you. I I never saw Hollyfield in person. I've heard a lot of things about it. I've seen several pictures of it. Just judging from what I've seen, that is worse than the high school field that I played on in Glendale, John Marshall High School. John Marshall has arguably one of, if not the best, at least at the time when I played back in, let's see, 2011 to 2014, had one of the best diamonds in all of high school baseball in West Virginia. And we took pride in it. We made sure that it was one of the best looking fields out there. Players took care of it. It was a sense of pride for us. And many compliment on it, said, damn, like if you put some seats in this place, it could probably pass for a minor league field. Um, but there was also some other fields that were not so nice, that were not the the John Marshalls of the world. And I'd probably even argue that some of those fields probably look better than Holly Field. So that just goes to show you how much of a game changer Mon County Ballpark is, how much of a game changer just the overall facilities and resources that West Virginia have now compared to what they did have has played into their success. Like it can't be talked about enough. But again, back to Randy Mazey. Hat tip to him, man. Like this guy has been again world class both on and off the field. He's done everything to represent the state in this community in the best way possible. He develops his kids. He puts guys in the majors. He puts guys in the minors. There's guys, and just because I listed some of those guys in the major leagues, there's more coming. There is, without a doubt, more on the way. Some already in the minor leagues. And he might just have the number one overall pick in his last year. He talked about going out with a bang. And, we look at this team and, there's some reason for hope and optimism. I think there's a lot of pretty solid returning pieces, a lot of young returning pieces. And we'll get into that. I think we're going to do I think we're going to do our baseball preview tomorrow. But it would be really cool to be able to put Randy Mazey in a position to go out in his final year, with a trip to Omaha. That'd be really cool. Something this program has never done. And I think it's without a doubt possible. When you got a guy like JJ Weatherholt, when you've got other surrounding pieces that can help elevate It's hard to believe I'm saying this, but elevate JJ's game. That's the key. Because if there's guys around JJ start hitting and start putting together, quabs, what I like to call quality at bats, you can't just pitch around Weatherholt. You're going to have to throw to him, and all of a sudden, man's probably going to hit 400 again. So I think it's without a doubt possible that this team could get to Omaha. It's also possible that there's so many question marks with the pitching. Say JJ Weatherholt doesn't get that much help around him, and they're fighting and they end up missing out on the tournament. It's kind of one of those years. It's kind of like a boomer bust kind of feel to it. But regardless of what happens this year, folks need to understand, recognize, respect, and really pay tribute to what Randy Mazey has done with this program, from literally awakening it from its sleep, right? I mean, this thing was 10 feet under the ground, and he pulled it out, and all of a sudden, within 10 years, he has a share of one of the best conferences in all of college baseball in the Big 12. That is a damn good coaching job. Not only do I think people in West Virginia probably don't realize how good of a job he's done, but I think nationally, like when he retires, there's probably not going to be this big, media type of response, and everyone kind of wishing him well in retirement, and there's not going to be all this publicized stuff about his retirement, but there should be. One of the best coaching jobs in college baseball, and maybe even all of college sports, to be able to drag that program from where it was to where it is and where it's going. Hat tip to Randy Mazey, one of the best in the business. Go get him, Skipper. So that'll do it for me here today on Between the Ears. Make sure you smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a like and a follow on X at Mountaineers Now. And we'll be back tomorrow to round out the week here on Between the Ears.